Hello, people of YouTube, my brothers and sisters. It's Glenny Y, about to give you my wisdom state of mind. So I'm just going to try something different and just use my voice to really convey this message. And today's message will be how pornography destroys men and their households. Yes. But before I dive into the topic, I just want to give a shout out to all my subscribers. And if you're new to the channel, I hope you enjoy this content and all the videos that is on my channel, and hopefully you subscribe and turn the notification bell on so you can get more uploads. Now, how pornography destroys men and their households. As you all know, I recently left pornography on 14th of September 2019. That was my first day of NoFap semen retention. And I've looked back on my journey and I realized that how satanic pornography is, and even the industry behind it. And me as a Christian, me as a believer of God, the Most High Yahweh, King of Israel, I've been studying the Word of God. When I look at Genesis, especially in the first book of Genesis, chapter 1, it shows how God made man and woman in his own image, and how he told the man and the woman to go forth and go be fruitful and multiply, and be in charge of all the fowl in the earth, fowl in the air, the animals on the ground, and everything that is living. This is the promises that God has made before us, especially for men and women to unite and prosper, especially for us men to lead and to be leaders of the household and to be leaders of self. But when I look at pornography, it's one of those demonic entities that is out to destroy the promises that has been beset before us as mankind. And I now know why, because pornography is one of those things that makes a man weak because he's low in testosterone, makes a man perverted because he looks at women a certain way, and also makes a man lazy because he's low in testosterone and he's just sinning against his own body, defiling his own body that is meant to be used for something much greater, especially as a man made to conquer the enemy and to be in charge of this planet, and for the woman as a helpmate, if you get what I'm saying. So now I'm going to break it down on why pornography is able to destroy you as a man and your households. Now, I'm gonna get deep into the basics, so I'm gonna let you guys have it. Now, in the first scenario, when we go looking back at pornography, especially when you're watching your clips, you get aroused, which you shouldn't be getting it shouldn't be a place where you should be getting aroused from, but because we live in a sadistic and a twisted environment, this is what happens. You get aroused. You get all these chemicals and you get dopamine. You get all this energy, all this sexual energy that's being stirred up by what you see on these clips by whoremongers and whores that performing sexual acts together. So now you are being enticed and you start to play with yourself. You understand, right? So when you're playing with yourself, what are you doing? Quote unquote masturbating. When you're masturbating, what are you masturbating to? To the imaginations that's playing before you in your eyes, right? And then once you have your little orgasm, what happens? You are tired. You feel drained. You feel no motivation at all to do anything. You're weak. And therefore, what happens? You can't get shit done in life. You can't get out there and do things like go to exercise, go out and meet people. You feel like you just want to cradle in bed and do that. And imagine how many men are like that right now, who feed off this demonic thing that we men feed our energy into this pornography and the industry that sells this to us. We're all weak, and therefore, because we are weak, society has become this way. And men, we are overpowered by women who are basically summoned by Jezebel spirits, and we can't be able to defend ourselves in the time of situations where we have to defend our honor, defend our family's honor, and so forth. So that's what happens, guys. This is how, in a way, it is not natural. And besides, it doesn't even stop there. This is what happens when you as a man begin to be in a relationship, right? And let's say you two she's a good woman, she's an innocent girl. This is what happens. Because you've been watching porn for so long, and I tell you the truth, sometimes what you see is actually very, 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 very nasty. We all know this is nasty, but let's get to the point. They do sodomy. They perform certain acts that is an abomination. And one of those things will be like anal sex, or let's say the money shot. So the money shot, usually, if you guys have been, you know what I'm talking about. If you guys have watched clips right to the end, you see what happens where the man ejaculates in a woman orally, right? So you, as a new boyfriend for this woman, and you guys started to mate together as sexual partners, you gotta end up trying these things on this woman. So now you gotta take the form of a whoremonger and practice these abominable acts on these women. Listen, women are not dogs and sexual objects, but because your mind has been perverted, that is what happens. So therefore, when you take these things and you start emulating what these porn stars are doing, and you put them on your woman, this is what happened. This is what's gonna happen. Sex is a very spiritual thing, and once you do these sodomizing acts and these abominable sexual acts on your woman, she eventually turns into a whore, and before you know it, she's gonna be that type of woman that's gonna become that whore that's loose on the street, because you have practiced these acts on her. And sex is a spiritual thing, and some of these women out there who are whores and sluts, it's not them that is promiscuous. There's a demon, or there's a spirit on top of their heads, and that's like the Jezebel spirit, the succubus spirit, demons of sex and lust that's possessed these women. And those type of women are ones that you should run from at all times. Don't you dare, as a man who's a good man trying to make it in life and you fear God, I dare you, do not ever even think of dating that type of woman, because that woman will lead you to death. Many men have kissed her and they've never been the same. If you want to know about her, it's in Proverbs chapter 5. That is the modern day thought right now. That same girl who takes these pictures, has that OnlyFans account, does this, I'm telling you, something's operating behind her. She's not herself, because of her ways are very, 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 very wrong and evil. I tell you the truth. But you see, when you look at the chain of events, these are the things, because those type of women have a history of them being molested, them being, sexually touched in abominable ways by their boyfriends, in a way, because their boyfriends were perverts. And where did the perversion come from? It came from pornography. You see what I'm saying? Now this girl's loose and crazy. You see, sex is a spiritual thing, and you taking something that's demonic from these pornography videos and emulating it in your relationship, in your marriage. You see what's happening? Now you're not making your household of matrimonial and love, you're making it into a whorehouse. You becoming a whoremonger, and she's become a whore, and therefore she decides you're not enough for her, and she dumps and leaves you, and she's on a hop on the next guy and the next guy and the next guy. You see, everything flows from the man. I tell you the truth, everything flows from the man. Now, there could be another scenario. Let's say this girl you're with is still faithful to you, but she just wants to please you, and she's just enjoying the acts that you are performing on her, these perverted acts that you're performing on her, that you get from these pornography clips, right? So now you want to take it up a notch. Now you're watching these threesomes, these orgies that's being played before you on your screen, right? So now you want to implement that in your household. So therefore, you're going to be like those perverted couples out there who want to say, hey, we can let's have a threesome. Bring a third girl inside. Bring a third party. And this is where it gets really, 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 really problematic. This is where dangers happen. Because when you look at pornography, it doesn't promote just sodomy. It promotes homosexuality and bestiality. You can find all types of clips that is disgusting and perverted and an abomination. Because that is not what God intended for us, men and women, to do. So now you want to implement these orgies and these threesomes, right? Because you just want to get hard and keep busting nuts. Not on yourself, but bust nuts all over the place. You see? That's what happens when a man has a perverted mind. So now you're going to do this. Okay. So you bring this another female into your household and you start practicing these threesomes. Now, you don't know what you're doing because you don't know this third party woman has a whatever she's carrying spiritually. And let's say you three are all in an act. You, your wife, your girlfriend, and this other lady, this third party. Your relationship is now went from a close relationship into an open relationship, and you're just enjoying yourself, right? So let's say this female in the act touches your girl in a certain way she's never felt before in her life. And before you know it, it opens the door for homosexuality where she says, oh, I never felt this before. You know, bring her over. I want to keep enjoying this. And before you know it, you do it again and again. And before you know it, your woman is now a full-blown lesbian. And she leaves you, puts child support on your head, and that's it. She's gone. And she's a full-blown lesbian. You see what you have done? You see the chains of events you have done? You've let perversion come into your household. You let whoredom come into your household. Now, your household is filled with homosexuality, all derived from this pornography that you have been watching, that you have been depleting your body from. You see? You see the chain of events that's happening? So now your girl has left you. She's left you. She's left you. She's no longer with you. She's a lesbian. She went from a bisexual, now she's a lesbian. All from that threesome and those orgies that you want to practice, just like these porn stars or just like the porn industry is doing. You see what's happening? Now your relationship is damaged. She no longer likes you. She'd rather have the vajayjay than, the penis. Let's get real. You see what I'm saying? Or if that's not enough, and if you still don't give up your porn addiction, this is what's going to happen to you. And listen to me very close. Let's say you have your wife, you have your children, right? And let's say at 2 a.m. you want to get that high again. You want to bust nuts again and go watch, a few of these clips from these porn sites, right? Now, it's 2 a.m. Friday night. The kids are sleeping. Your wife is sleeping. And you go to your study office area in your household to, turn on a clip and bust some nuts. Let's say your son wakes up and decides to go to urinate around 2 a.m. His bladder is full and he wants to urinate. And then he sees a glaring light from your study area, from the door. Because when you're in darkness, right? And you just got the laptop on, it throws up a glaring screen. The light from the glaring screen lights up the room, right? The brightness. And let's say your son sees a glaring light from the door, but it's closed. And he's like, what's over there? What's happening there? And then he tiptoes and see what's going on. Because he's not sure, like, hey, what's going on? And he opens the door slightly. And then it creaks. And then, he sees you, but you see him. And then you tell him, oh, what you doing here? Get up, go back to bed. Go back to bed now. He's seen you already. Think about it. You as a father, your own son has caught you in the act of you masturbating to something very perverted of this known as pornography. And before you know it, you and your son will have an awkward relationship for the rest of your days as father and son. And by the time when he grows up and finds out what pornography is, like what pornography is, he gonna have a flashback to say, oh, I remember that day at 8 years old when I saw my father in the act of doing that. You see what's happened? You see the chain of events, the scenarios I've given you of how porn can destroy men and their households? You see? Imagine that day. Imagine your own son and your own daughter caught you in an act, self-pleasing yourself to this perverted shit that is on the internet. You see, we men, we have to get rid of this porn addiction, guys. Porn addiction is wrong. I've been in this shit for 12 years and I got nothing but perversion and nothing but pain and more pain from it. Why? 12 years. Testosterone loss made me weak. Made me feel like shit, made me feel like crap, unmotivated, because all I was doing was busting nuts. 12 years. 12 years, man. You see? And when I look at the porn industry, it's funny. When I look at from a point of view, from a spiritual point of view, God is going to judge them. God is going to come back. When he comes back again as the Messiah, he going to slay them all with his sword. You understand? He going to slay them all. Why? Because they have taken the gift of sex and turned it into a marketing thing to promote lust, to promote homosexuality, to promote bestiality, to promote all these abominable things that God didn't intend for when he created sex. Sex was used for men and women to come together and to multiply in numbers. But now I feel like the more we men, sacrifice our life force, give away our life force to this perverted nonsense, we become infertile, erectile dysfunction. Therefore, the population will become stagnant. And we are breaking the promises and the commands of what the Lord, the Most High, told us in the beginning when it came to in the Bible, in the scriptures, when he said we should go forth and multiply and be millions. That is the unity between man and woman. But our minds have been perverted. Our minds have been poisoned and fried. We look at women as nothing but to penetrate. You see? Is this where we going, my lads, my brothers? We must get on this no-fap semen retention lifestyle, man. It helps us. Because I tell you the truth, porn does nothing but turn you into a pervert, a creep, a whoremonger, or if worse, a pedophile. Child pornography. I mean, damn. God help you if you're one of those people. Because those people are the ones that get arrested. And when the FBI or the police raid their computer and they find out all this child pornography, you see, that is what even makes a man be a pedophile and start perverting on young little girls and boys. Porn is one of the things that is killing us men. Turn away from it. Flee from it, guys. It's not the natural way for you to look at a woman. It's not. It is not. Women are not that. I tell you the truth. I tell you the truth, man. And it's killing us. It's time that we begin to be warriors. Begin to be the alpha males. What we are supposed to be by default, by DNA. Since we are made in God's image, what does that say? We are men. We are warriors. You understand? We must have to give up this stuff, these habits, man, because they are stopping us from reaching our goals. I mean, what's a man without testosterone? He's like a beta male or a female. You understand? He's lost his deep voice. He has erectile dysfunction. He can't build muscle. Why? Because all he does is fap to this porn shit. And even when you look at the porn logos, what do you see? There's a clip behind. There's a picture behind the crossbar, right? It spells evil angel. So what does that mean? It's satanic. And who's the evil angel? Satan. For it was the angel that turned evil when he tried to overthrow God, but God cast him down out of heaven. So you see, these guys, they know what they're doing. They've taken the gift of sex and they're promoting lust, sodomy, and all these things. And sodomy is one of those things that you commit abominable acts sexually. And it's one of those things that you look at Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible, God slaughtered them all. And this is what the porn industry are promoting. And that's what's making us men weak. Guys, turn your head from this. And I'm glad I did. I've been on this no-fap semen retention for so long. It's a beautiful thing. I've had so many benefits. You can watch my videos if you want to know. But I tell you the truth, man. It's time for us men to be men. Because women are getting frustrated. They can't find a good man. They can't find anyone. Why? Because we are here fapping away to this nonsense. Why? Women are frustrated and some of them are turning lesbians. Why is that? Something's wrong. Either because they're frustrated by us men being weak, that we don't take the leadership position. We have no testosterone. We're becoming impotent. I don't know, man. But God help us. We must be what we designed to be men, to be leaders, to be kings. Otherwise, it'll be over. So turn away from this stuff, man, because it's only destroying you. If I was able to leave and finally give it up after 12 goddamn years, so can you. And we can attract the beautiful wife that we desire or dream of having. You get what I'm saying? I'll tell you. And I'll tell you the truth, guys. How do I know about this? I was once in a relationship too. I had a woman for 3 years. And there were times where she was insecure when she saw me sometimes watching pornography. She'll feel that, oh, am I not enough for you? Am I not good looking for you? Why are you watching this stuff? Am I not attractive enough? You see? That's another scenario. It can make a woman much insecure to feel like she's not enough for you. And it can motivate a woman to leave and just find another guy who's more disciplined. You see? It kills relationships. It destroys households. And when you look at the porn stars and the female porn stars, after they leave the industry and retire, they all look fucked up. They all look messed up, especially the girls. Why? Because they've taken so much spiritual energy inside, sexually, from different men. They don't look right. They all look used up. They all look wrinkly and old. Before they enter the porn industry, they're all attractive and nice, but when they left, they all look messed up. Because so much DNA from different men has entered them, orally, eternally. Man, and then when you look at that man, they're all bald, they all have lost their sense and their intelligence. Why? Because they've destroyed their souls. They've all destroyed their souls. They've given away their testosterone. And all for what? For money. That's why some of these women and men disappear. Because they know, because women have become creeps, some of the creeps end up stalking these female porns to see. It's all perverted, man. It's all disgusting. It's time we men become what we're supposed to be, man. A real man has self-discipline and knows his sexuality. This stuff that we see on the internet is not good. It's not good at all. It's not the way, in a way to please the woman. It's not. It's all perverted, all disgusting. It's all lust. I mean, it's funny. That's not the way to even treat a woman sexually. But it's all lies. Masturbation is a lie. Porn is a lie. But some of you guys will hear me. And if you guys don't, you can keep fapping away till you die. Go ahead. And you watch how me and other men who hear this message or turn away from their addiction become kings and become alpha males and become bosses and change their lives. And your girl will compare you to us, and she gonna leave you and want to be with us. Why? Because we play the role of a man righteously and we know what to do. We put the flesh to subjection and we honor ourselves by being a discipline, and we follow and we do what is right in honor of the Most High and in honor of our manhood. And you can't get her back. Why? Because you choose to not change. You choose to be a slave to your sin. You choose to be a slave to lust and sodomy and all the nastiness and perversion. Keep going. Keep going. And watch how your girl will end up marrying these men and having babies by one of these men out there who wanted to change their lives and is proud to have a child by one of them, because she knows that her man will be there to protect her and secure her and look after her child, while you just waste away with this porn industry and all the lust of your flesh. And you see what happens when God comes back and sees you, when he sees that you have nothing. You have no energy in your soul, no energy in your body, no energy in your I mean, goddamn, I don't know. And then you just gonna waste away. It is what it is, guys. How pornography destroys men and their households. It's time we men change and rise and revert back to what we're supposed to be as men, as kings, as honorable men, not perverted men, as honorable men. Flush out. No fap, semen retention. Follow that. There's many videos on that. The people I recommend is the Shaved Lion King, Darius. You watch his videos and you will see he's about this stuff. 20 months he was on semen retention, he was able to change his life, and he found a woman. And there's a man called Newbury to the world over. He's a man, very biblical, an Israelite, a godsend. He was on NoFap semen retention. My goodness, he changed his life, and God is using him. And both of these men, I was able to learn from them, and it gave me motivation to stay on this path. And I'm never going back, guys. Never going back. But yeah, it's time, guys. We turn a new leaf and begin the reset. I'm telling you, let porn die, man. God has a plan for those people over there. You're going to slaughter them all, and I don't want you to be part of it. So change your ways, and God will use you to be a mighty man, and all your dreams will come through. To God be the glory. God bless you all, and I pray you change in Jesus' name. Amen. Take care, guys. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, like this video. God bless. Peace.